Hey, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Is your brother El Ayathan back at you with another video. And this video is about fighting the good fight. Is not talking about fighting each other. So you're all familiar with the incident that happened between ISUPK and IUIC in Kansas City. Now all the apostles did a lesson on it, did their own take, and I'm going to put all the videos in the description. I'll put all the links to all the apostles' videos in the description. So there's not really much for me to say on a topic that they haven't already said, but I just want to add my 1 cent, my penny in there. Now, I'm talking about this brawl that happened right here, which some are calling a Royal Rumble, as you can see here on Mac News 144. And this video came out yesterday. I'm not sure when the incident actually happened, but this is not a good look. It's not a good look for Israel at all, you know, because we're supposed to be the judges. And IUIC, you know, they boast on knowing the law. And then ISUPK, they boast on knowing the scriptures, that they're the home of the truth, no cowards and all that. So both of them should have been able to come to some type of resolution. It shouldn't have came to what it came to, which was blows. And that shows you that the parties on both sides could have handled it differently. Now, I will say this, that the first blows from the video seem to be by ISUPK when you watch your videos, and so they should have been more spiritual. And you can say that IUIC was defending themselves, and you know, there's really nothing you can say against that. But that situation where they're both on the corner trying to yell over each other, that shouldn't have happened in the very first place. Now, I don't know who was there first, you know. When this video first came out, comments were saying that this is ISUPK's block that they like to teach on, right? And then some newer comments that I'm seeing are saying that it's IUIC's block, but it really doesn't matter, because that's see, now you're starting to talk about Negroes in the world. And this just kind of goes back, just adds more confluence to what we've been saying, that neither of these groups seem to be spiritual minded. You know, neither of them seem to be spiritual minded. I mean, they both call on Christ, right? So when you call on Christ, you know, this is what happens, you know, because as a Hebrew Israelite, in the spirit of Yahweh Shai, this should not happen. The scriptures say, do things good in the sight of all men. Right, and the scriptures say, if at all possible, live peaceably with all men. Now, this situation was avoidable. It was possible to resolve this peacefully. I mean, we've been in situations like this, to where, you know what, we just folded up and we left to avoid conflict, unnecessary conflict. I mean, if you gotta do what you gotta do if you get attacked, but you can avoid unnecessary conflict. I got a scripture here, Proverbs 17:14. It says this. It says, the beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water. In other words, when you open up the water faucet, the water just pours out. So the beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water. In other words, the first person sets it off, then it turns into a huge melee, which is what happened here. One person set it off and it turned into a huge melee. It's like open up the faucet of water. It says the beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water. Therefore leave off contention before it be meddled with. So in other words, avoid the situation as soon, as quick as possible, as peaceably as possible, before a situation even begins, because once it begins, it's difficult to stop. As you can see, this turned into a huge Royal Rumble, and it was not smart on the side of ISUPK because they were outnumbered, so it wasn't a wise move. But we know that the reputation of ISUPK is to try to gang up and take other brothers' spots. Where other groups, usually brothers would set up and speak, they like to take the spot, like some type of takeover, like they're fighting for block wars. And IUIC does the same things, so they kind of, the Most High kind of gave them both a taste of their own medicine, especially ISUPK, because there were only 3 of them and they were outnumbered. So look at this, both of them are shouting, trying to shout over each other on the corners. I mean, this is foolishness. So they didn't apply the scriptures over here. And again, they're out there in the spirit of Christ, not in the spirit of Yahawashi. So this shouldn't have happened at all, And I believe this guy over here on the left, he's out of the camera view, but the brother over here on the left, in the red, I believe he started it, and it was because. And see, now you got Sinetta hopped on this. Vocab's gonna jump on this. I believe a Christian pastor is the one that filmed this, and he might have been going up there to debate or to start his own fight, but he didn't need to, because there it goes. He just cut it off. You saw it right there. He went. This dude got all riled up. So basically, he got emotional is what happened. This was because of emotions. And the scriptures say 2 cannot walk together unless they be agreed. So you shouldn't be in close proximity with each other like that if you don't agree. I mean, this was a situation just waiting to pop off. Especially when you got younger guys in there that are not experienced, that are not using wisdom, they're just going off emotions. This is what happens. What is other scriptures I got here? Romans 12:18 says, if it be possible, as much lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. So again, if they came to this block and they saw each other, one of them should have been big enough or spiritual enough to say, look, you brothers got this, we're going to leave, we're going to find another spot. I mean, this is what, Kansas City? Is this the only corner or the only block in Kansas City that there is? I mean, it looks like it's a long-ass strip down the road on both sides. Look at all that strip right there. Somebody could have moved. But somebody here was trying to build upon somebody else's, how does scripture say it? Build upon another man's, I can't remember how the scripture goes. Hold on, let me find it. I don't want to quote it wrong. If I can't find it, you brothers could put it in the chat. Give me a second here. See if I can find it. Give me 1 second here. Build upon another man's foundation. Yep. Romans 15:20. It says, yea, so have I strived to preach the gospel, not where Yahawashi was named, lest I should build upon another man's foundation. So one of them was building upon another man's foundation, and then this is what happened. It came to blows. And it's on the internet. Look at this. And, you can see, one thing I noticed is you can see IUIC put them police tactics to good use. You could tell that they were trained in law enforcement style. But I mean, they did what they had to do, which was they had to suppress the aggressor. So they did what they had to do. But you can see that it was straight law enforcement right there. So when we say that they are law enforcement agents, I mean, you can see for yourself. Look at that, straight law enforcement agents. And one there was one brother from IUIC. He was like, he sounded like TD Jakes. Said, "Don't press on the." He said, "Don't press on the chest. Don't press on the neck." It was funny is that look at this. It was funny is that IUIC went out to protest George Floyd. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they went up there and they had like a million man march for George Floyd. But here they are, pressing a knee up on brothers. But they went out there to protest against the officer pressing his knee against George Floyd. You know. But they did a good job of suppressing the oppressor. But my thing is, I wouldn't call the cops. Even Apostle Tahar said that if the cops came, and the thing is, this is what I noticed, right? When the cops came, they didn't. Usually, when you see a bunch of Negroes, in a Royal Rumble, when the cops come, they hem everybody up because they don't know what's what. They don't know who started it, So they hem everybody up. But in this case, it was like they just ran up and they automatically didn't touch IUIC. I'm talking about what I see from the footage. There was no questioning, putting any of them in handcuffs or hemming any of them up when the cops came. It's like them and the cops were old buddies or some shit. The cops came, to chat with ISUPK, and it's kind of like they kind of knew each other. Somebody called a sergeant that they know, and the cops came and, they hemmed up ISUPK. IUIC didn't seem to be hemmed up by the cops or anything like that. But that's all observation. I can't, I'm not. Oh yeah. Of course, there's always a female involved amongst chaos, always. Yep. See, there's no IUIC. My thing is, how do they know that IUIC didn't have nothing to do with it? Like, why did they go straight for ISUPK? That's my question. It's like somebody got a plug. Like they call their boys. But anyway, let me see what else I got left for scripture. Proverbs 20:3 says this. It says, "It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling." Right. So the person that cuts the strife, avoids it, ceases it, that's the bigger person, Matthew 5:9 says this, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of the Most High." So a true judge will know how to avoid conflict in the first place. A true judge will know that if conflict takes place, you quell it as fast as possible. And I say IUIC, they were outnumbered. They could have beat these dudes to powder. Obviously, they're trained, at least in suppression. They could have beat these dudes down if they wanted to, but they showed restraint. Again, I don't think it was cool to have these brothers locked up or have the cops out. They just said whatever I had to do. They turned the cops away and said, "Look, it was a misunderstanding. We're good. Yo, brothers, we good? Yeah, we good." And then that's it. Officers, we good. It was a misunderstanding. Sorry for the confusion or whatever. And then everybody go home, man. But this is a learning lesson for brothers out there in GMS. This is why we we don't do unity camps, because something like that is bound to happen at a unity camp. And this is why we just do what we got to do. We live peaceably. We say shalom, from brothers of other camps and all that. But that's it. We go about our way and do our business. But we'll bid you Godspeed, and that's it. Because this is how things happen. And this is why, another example of why, okay, it look like they might be letting these brothers, who knows. But also, this is why, man, we say you can't just lay hands suddenly on no man. Meaning, you can't just bring anybody into the camp. You gotta have brothers that are fit to be out there in the camp that can make sound judgment, because the brother in the red that started this thing, he yeah, he wasn't fit to be out there because he led to this whole altercation. I don't think it shows in this video, but one of the IUIC members, touch a chair. And I get it. You out there and there's a friction and all that. But it's like he was waiting for any excuse to make a move, to start a rumble. But I get it. The brother came over there, touch his chair, and there's the heat and the friction. So somebody come touch a chair, like, yo, don't touch our stuff. But he should have used more wisdom on that. You could tell the brother just moving out of the way. I mean, the brother should have said, yo, bro, I need to move it. Is it cool? I need to move this chair out the way. Like both parties could have did it better, and because that's how we do. That's how we do it at GMS. We're very courteous, before we touch we're not gonna touch his stuff and say, yo, brother, I need to move this. Is it cool if I move this? You do sound like that. So the brother, a soft answer turneth away wrath. There's ways to de-escalate situations. There's many times where we be on the camp in situations we're about to start. There's times all of us, when we've been to other camps with younger brothers, and they're about to get themselves into a fight, and then you gotta quell the situation. You gotta calm it down. If you're not proven, experienced, spiritually discerned, you're not able to know how to calm a situation down. You really shouldn't be out on the camp. If you're a hothead, you like to fight, you shouldn't be out there on the camp. It takes a certain mentality to be out there. So again, fight the good fight of faith. It's not fighting each other. So anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem, Rakakwadash, shalom.